My last name, I say Mikhail, but like over in Greece, like my relatives are like Mikhail, like
Yeah.
is what.
Got to put a little throat into it.
Yeah, I don't do that. Hey guys, welcome to Inside Comics with George Michail. Really quick, if you like this kind of content, hit subscribe and tell a friend about it. Today, I'm super psyched. My guests are Tim Radecki and Mike Dean. Dudes, thanks so much for being on the show.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having us on, man. We're really looking forward to it.
Awesome. So you guys are the writers and creators of Superbud, a new comic book out right now. And we got Tim Laddie, who I had just a few shows back on the show, an artist that's worked on like things like Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe. You got him to do your book. And yeah, it looks super cool. And I want to talk to you about that. But before we dive into the Superbud Kickstarter, I want to ask you a little bit about drugs in comic books, and how did drugs inspire your character, and what can he do?
Originally, it was a way to kind of bridge like the kind of slacker humor that we really loved. We think about like Judd Apatow movies and Seth Rogen movies and those kind of things with the kind of comic books that we love. So it was a way to hybrid both of those ideas. I think we came up with later, we sort of started to pitch it to people when we were at cons just to kind of get their attention real quick, to say it's kind of like Pineapple Express, but instead of like drug trafficking and that kind of thing, it's superpowers. So Pineapple Express, but with superpowers.
Yeah, and here's like a list of like some characters that have like drug addiction kind of problems in comic books, and I just wanted to kind of share this because I found this list like super interesting. So number 10, this comes from like dailysuperheroes.com. Number 10 is Bane, and he does like the Venom.
Yeah,
drug,
the Venom, right?
Right. And then we've got the Sentry, who's on like a Sentry serum.
Yeah.
The Patriot, and he was like, because he wasn't like a superhero like by typical means. It was from mutant growth hormone. And Mr. Hyde has this Hyde formula. Nuke does like adrenaline pills, and Ultraman from like Earth 3 is like addicted to kryptonite. So that Power Man is on Miracolo. I don't know. Elongated Man is on Gin Gold. We got Snow Flame was hooked straight on cocaine. And then Captain America superhero, so super soldier serum. Yeah. And I'd also throw like Venom in there because Eddie Brock's kind of like addicted to the symbiote.
Definitely.
And, yeah.
I can't believe they didn't list. Didn't Speedy have like a heroin addiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like there was someone else in Marvel, though not a hero, but Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn, yeah.
Yeah, and like it's not drugs, but like Tony Stark and his alcoholism is pretty epic for sure. I think that like we didn't get like a lot of these kind of stories because like the comic code of authority for so many years. So like storytellers couldn't even tell that. I was actually on a panel with the creator of Captain Cannabis.
Oh, okay, yeah, we know that one.
Yeah,
yeah. He was a little negative. I think like he didn't like copyright his stuff properly, and like people were ripping him off left and right. So he was like pretty bitter. And basically he talked like the whole panel about like just make sure you get your copyright stuff in. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. For us, we always talk about it because like there's going to be a movie coming out that's got a pretty similar theme, and we made ours back in 2014. We originally wrote it and copyrighted it in 2012. So with those kind of things, it's like, well, how close is it? Obviously there's things that we're all going to stumble upon that might be similar in nature, but the way we execute it is going to be totally different. So we're hopeful that it's very different than ours, but you never know with those kind of things. But I think ultimately, like, it's easy to take two ideas of just taking weed humor and superheroes and putting the two together. That's an easy thing to come up with. So a lot of things, a lot of other comic books, there's other superhero weed comics out there, and obviously like Jay and Silent Bob being the biggest ones. But we were right from the get-go trying to separate ourselves from that. So if you read our comic, it's not like Superhero in Tights. It's not like a code name like Marijuana Man or any of those kind of things. It's as ridiculous as it is grounded in a reality. And most people that get powers in our comic, Superbud is a strain of medical marijuana that is experimental, and it's stolen from a lab, and it spreads throughout this small town. So there's multiple people in the town. Anybody who smokes this Superbud that they get from this dealer all start developing different superpowers. They all handle it in what I would say is a really practical, real world way. They kind of think of how it personally gains themselves. So none of them are really thinking about superpowers as in a step to becoming a superhero, other than our main character, who just happens to be the kind of nerdy slacker who reads a lot of comics, and that's his world. So naturally, that's where his mind goes. But everybody else thinks logically, like, how can I gain from this? So we try to separate ourselves from that. And in the second issue, there is a joke about wearing a costume where he imagines himself as a superhero, but it's really just like a nod at that. And really, what we want to do is stay as far away from that and do the opposite.
Okay, and there's lots of humor mixed into this book.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mike and I had come off writing a lot of like sitcoms that we were writing spec scripts for. We had written an original 6-episode web series. So I think we were really in the like punchy joke mindset when we wrote it. It was an idea that just like had to be a comic. It couldn't have worked on TV or in film as well. So we said, let's adapt it for a comic. But I think we brought a lot of that natural humor that we were already putting into all of our other works into it. So we try our best to make it really funny. The response has been really great. People do love it. And that's sort of a way to like sneak people into diving deeper into a more serious story. We do take the storytelling serious. There is a complex story that's going on here. You will get the full picture with 5 issues. But the bridge to that is always the humor first. We lean into that, and then hopefully if we hook you with the humor, we can keep you around and keep you interested as the story progresses.
What's the villain of the story? What's his deal?
Well, there's more than one, but BART, Pharmaceutical Technologies, is definitely the main antagonist. They're the ones that were responsible for the creation of the Superbud. And when it gets leaked, they are only concerned with, getting back their product and eliminating any trace of their wrongdoing along the way.
How did you guys hook up with Tim Laddie?
So I actually was, because we both started in film, I was doing camera work for Stan Lee's YouTube channel, World of Heroes. And I was in New Orleans at, I forget what, New Orleans Wizard World, I guess. And me and Tim had written Superbud, but we hadn't found an illustrator yet. So what we were doing was kind of auditioning illustrators. We'd reach out to some people that we thought were good candidates, and we'd have them draw up a cover for us. And then I remember seeing his banner while I was working, and he had, was it Ahsoka Tano? It was a Star Wars character on his banner. And Tim and I already kind of had discussed what type of style we wanted, which was not super cartoony, not super realistic, somewhere in the middle. And Tim Laddie's style is just exactly that. And so I was like, oh, Laddie Ink. I was like, all right, I'll remember that. Maybe I can go stop by later. I didn't get a chance. And so when I got home, I told Tim, and we looked up his art. And at that point, I think most of his stuff was up on Facebook. So that's how we got in touch with him. And then we did the entire first issue just online, like without ever meeting in person.
And then it was awesome. Like a full year later, maybe even a year and a half later, we were all at New York Comic Con together. So we finally got to meet in person. And Tim was like right away clicked with us. One of the three of us that make this team work. Definitely like a part of the team, and the kind of personality that gelled with Mike and I really, really well. We hit it off really great. So been a permanent fixture with the team of Superbud, and a great collaborator along the way.
Superbud issue 3 is available on Kickstarter right now, and you can get issues 1 and 2. So you can get a good chunk of story right now. Can you tell me what kind of rewards are you guys offering?
So we got, obviously we have the back issues available in print and digital form. We have some signed prints that we're doing. We have a few limited spaces for sketch covers that Tim Laddie will draw up. Nice. And then one of the ideas that we had a couple years ago when we were at a convention was to do a parody of That Yellow Bastard. and do the comic in grayscale, but with all the Super Bud affected stuff in green. So we finally are doing that. And so we called it That Green Flower. That one's available. And then we have a couple variant covers. What am I forgetting, Tim?
Yeah, the variant cover. So Tim Laddie did a variant for us, a little Hulk Wolverine homage, and then Dave Swartz, another popular indie artist, did a second variant for us. That one's awesome as well. So those are huge. Those are definitely things to back while they're available, because they are limited as well.
Oh,
Awesome.
and we're also doing a workshop for anyone that's interested.
Like a writing workshop.
Yeah, we're doing a concept to creation comic book workshop. When we started, we did not have like a lot of people to talk to get guidance on things. So there's a lot of research, a lot of trial and error. Of course, we picked up a lot of like favorite books, but since then we've done some panels where we've like tried to help teach people like what the process is if you haven't made one. And so now we're offering that as like one of the rewards.
Basically, we've made enough mistakes in the years we've been doing this that we might not know how to do it correctly, but we know how to not do it correctly. So we could point out all the wrong things we've done.
Yeah, I feel you too. That's part of like this channel is just like me. It's part of me trying to learn too, but also like, don't do this because I did that before, and do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, no, Superbud looks like super dope, and
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, I'm excited for it. I encourage everybody to search it out. There's in the description of this video, there's a link to the Kickstarter, guys. So click on that link and go and check out some more Superbud. Tim Radke, Mike Dean, I want to thank you for being on Inside Comics, and I'll see you next time, guys.
George, thanks so much, man. Yeah, I've been looking forward to coming on. It's awesome. So thanks for having us.
Awesome. Peace.